everyone, 2022 is here, and while we're all waiting for some next gen games, today I wanted to show you a game that I missed last year. I'm talking about PS5's Kena. Let's see why this game surprised me so much. The story and world of Kena, Breach of Spirits, center on a village beset by tragedy. Its inhabitants are all gone, wiped out by misfortune, and their pain has physically poisoned the once vibrant land around it. That pain has drawn Kena, a young spirit guide, to seek out the trauma in its center and heal it. Her link to the spirit realm allows her to help the ghosts of the village find peace, and in so doing, she's able to push back the corruption that has gripped the land, restoring it to its former glory. In practical terms, you do that by wandering the large, semi-open space of the village and its surrounding environs, battling the corrupted spirits of both the people who once lived there and the nature their pain has twisted. Most every interaction comes down to a combination of combat and puzzle solving. Your goal is actually to beat back a host of enemies, freeing up the ability to destroy a nearby corrupted heart, a sort of evil flower bulb. With a blast of spirit energy you can pulse from Kena with the touch of a button. Kill the heart and the corruption recedes, along with the corrupted enemies. Combat itself is mostly familiar, with Kena fighting off enemies with the use of her spirit staff. You get light and heavy attacks you can combo together, but even in normal difficulty, enemies hit hard and can knock you off your game if you're not paying attention. Like similar action games, you have a dodge that can get you out of trouble most of the time. And you can generate a spirit shield with limited power that will stop attacks. Take too many hits and the shield breaks, sending you flying and dealing you damage. But if you can time your block just right, you'll parry an enemy and open them up to a counterattack. Both Kena's puzzles and its combat add a twist in the form of a root, which are little spirit pals you can find in the environment. The root are a bit like Pikmin or the minions seen in games such as Overlord. In combat, you can send them to attack and distract enemies, allowing you to get in a few free hits or attack a weak point. And they're essential to making hearts vulnerable in the middle of the fights, which can allow you to stop enemies from respawning, so you can advance. Even as gorgeous as the land looks, much of it is corrupted. Cleansing the land often involves clearing enemies out of a certain corrupted areas before using the root to clean the area. This can sometimes mean sending the rod into a corruption flower and using Kena's aura to burst it. Other times, it can mean turning the rod into a forest tear, which is a snake-like creation that can clear out small bits of corruption piece by piece. The only minor issue with the forestier is players control it and Kena simultaneously, which can sometimes give the camera fits. That also goes for the game's various puzzles. Outside of combat, rod follow you around or pop up on ledges and bridges as you move through the environment, and can be sent to do contextual actions in the world, like moving climbable objects to help you reach a high platform. Kena does a good job of combining the need to give the rod commands with smart uses of Kena's abilities, creating situations in which solutions need you to think about what you can do with the unlockable bow or platform levitating bombs, as well as what the rod can do to alter the environment. In each section of the game, you venture out to find one particular tormented spirit and help them achieve peace. And your journey through the locations is all about piecing together the story of who these people are and what become of them. In each, you're not just helping free a human spirit who has been corrupted and twisted into a powerful and dangerous boss by their trauma. You're also helping the spirits of the people who love them but cannot reach them. The interactions with the characters you find in each section of the game helps imbue the area scene and around the village with a character of their own. And despite the fact that the place has been all but destroyed, you can feel the life that once thrived there. What's missing from the story, though, is Kenna herself. The game hints that some tragedy in Kenna's past has scarred her, much like the spirits she sets out to help. Near the climax of the story, the game digs into some of Kenna's motivations and history, but wraps things up so quickly and neatly that it feels like some aspects of her tale might have just been cut. Kenna is more or less in the same place at the end of the story as at the beginning, and in a game where so much development is given to the stories of the inhabitants of the village, the attention paid to the protagonist feels anemic by comparison. You may be surprised at the number of boss battles that punctuate Kenna's quest through this corrupted world. These encounters put your skill to the test, pitting you against British rivals who can usually take Kenna down with a few rapid blows. The game certainly has some difficult spikes, but this cuts both ways, leaving you immensely satisfied when watching a boss finally tumble as you cling to a silver of health. In between bouts of combat, you'll trek through Kenna's world, clearing the fog by climbing ruins, delving into caves, and solving puzzles. This is where the rod come in handy again. Kenna commanded them to clear pathways and lift objects. Combining these simple mechanics with the traversal powers you acquire over time allows the puzzle performing to become more advanced. It goes without saying that Bridge of Spirits look enchanting, whether playing in 4K or in performance mode on PS5. Naturally, the pre-rendered cutscenes are where Ember Labs really get to flex their muscles, punctuating Kenna's story with some jaw-dropping animated scenes. This isn't quite matched by the game's audio, though the voice acting is still great and the soundtrack adds depth and magic to this mysterious world. The act of meeting and understanding all those other characters is powerful though. Kenna Bridge of the Spirit is ultimately a game about making those connections, just like it's about making a connection with the game world around you through the rod. It centers on characters who tried valiantly but failed to help another, and what dealing with that pain did to them. It's about exploring a world and seeing what it once was, and helping to restore it again. And while Kenna Bridge of Spirit is full of familiar feeling combat and exploration, its ability to find different ways to look at those ideas makes for a beautiful, emotional and exciting journey.